what to say, guys. I don't even know where to start. While I've been nursing my ADHD, so much has happened. July was it just came and went so fast. It started off with a very, very cool bass synthesizer pedal that I wanted to talk about once again, but there were so many reviews and so many demos of this bass synthesizer pedal coming out of the woodwork. I think it was the Dunlop one that I just said, or MXR, either way, same thing, Dunlop MXR, that I just said, you know what, I'm going to stay out of it. I didn't even buy one because I'm not going to go running and just buy every pedal that comes out and just to do a review, because that's not really what this channel is all about. Anyway, very quickly, we started having other things happen. One of those things that happened that everyone was up in arms about is something that I've talked about several times on this channel, and I'm not the first to talk about it or complain about it. And that is anything that has copyright protection on it, you're kind of asking for trouble if you try to post a video. Even if you're trying to do it justice, it doesn't matter. You're just asking for a headache. You're asking for trouble. And this is trouble that I've talked about before, and I just don't want to deal with it. So I decided just to kind of sit and watch all that. But I had a lot of things going on in my personal life as well that was really keeping me from being able to focus on this. Now, this video, I do have a point in posting this video. I do want to talk about gear today. And I want to talk about this instrument in particular. I've been playing it a little bit more lately. I've been getting reacquainted with it. So I picked it up a few days ago. I had not played it in what it feels like it's been months since I've played this bass. I really haven't been paying it much attention. I've been spending the majority of my bass playing on the acoustic electric bass. I've thought about the basses that I currently own, and I thought about several of the basses that I've let go of, some of those basses that I would very much like to have back. Something that I've never really thought about and I've always been a little bit turned off by is the 5-string bass. I've never owned a 5-string bass. I keep trying to play them, so that's the point of this video, by the way. You know, I've looked into them from time to time, but I never felt compelled to get one. And this is why I never bought a 5-string bass. First and foremost, number one reason, if you're gonna go 5, you might as well go 6. Now, this is going to upset some of you 5-string purists or you bass purists, but I'm more into the C, the high C, and I just think that it's a more useful note, a more useful string. And I just don't really see the point in buying just a 5-string bass. It's not about ego or anything like that saying, hey, look, I've got a 6-string bass instead of 5. It's not about that at all. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, the 4-string is the be-all, end-all bass for me. E to G is all you really need. That will get everything done that you need to get done. This is my strong belief. And I also believe that, once again, I've said it before, you don't have to play every single kind of bass. You know, I used to think that I had to play every type of bass. I thought I had to have the upright, thought I had to have a 6-string. I did think I needed a 5-string, but I never got one because I was like, I've got a 6-string. I don't need the 5-string, because I wasn't slapping and popping and tapping on the 6-string. Overall, I was not too focused on that type of playing whenever I picked up the 6-string bass. I just said, you know what, I'm just gonna do other things with it. You know, I'm trying to get as much melody as I can out of it. And I just don't really feel like slapping a 6-string bass really suits me. Reasons why you should consider a 5-string bass. If you really love to slap, then a 5-string is gonna suit you much better than a 6-string. I agree with that, and I won't argue that at all. One of the other reasons that I never picked up a 5-string bass is because most of the bands that I played in, which were rock bands, did not want to see that type of bass. If you weren't using a P bass or maybe even a jazz bass, a Stingray was somewhat acceptable. No one wanted to see you with any other type of bass. I've said this before, but anyway, nobody wanted to see you with anything else. They wanted you only to have a 4-string P bass. And you know, the thing is so amazing or kind of interesting about the Fender Precision bass, just your standard precision bass, it's widely accepted everywhere. Think about it for a minute. Think about all these bands. It doesn't matter which genre of music. It could be metal, it could be funk, it could be rock, folk. It doesn't matter what it is. It could be industrial. The P bass is accepted everywhere. So I think that the reason I ultimately never went for the 5-string bass is because I never really cared for that 5th string. I didn't care for it. Occasionally, I did like to hear the C, but the 5th string, the low B, it just never really spoke to me. It just didn't. And whenever I'd be learning songs or I would hear songs and the bassist in that song or whoever recorded the song, it was obvious they were using a 5-string, I was always kind of let down a little bit. And I was like, oh man, that's a drag. I'll tell you, there's a song, I'm trying to do it. It was played on the 5-string. It was recorded on a 5-string, but you can do it on the 4-string. That's Into the Fire by Sarah McLachlan, which, you know, not one of her favorite songs, but I love that song. I think it's great. But yeah, she had a lot of 5-string bass on those earlier records. She always had, 5-string bass going on there. And, you know, it sounded good. I was like, man, this sounds so good. I wish, and it was at those times I was like, well, I guess I have to get out the 6-string to play along with this song because, you know, this was before I started learning, you know, I can just kind of work it around and do it on the 4-string and get the job done. It doesn't matter. And as a matter of fact, I saw a live performance with her and the bassist that was playing, this is much later, but the bassist was playing that song with a 4-string bass. So it can be done. It's not going to ruin the song, but there are a few notes in that song where that low B sounds really, really good. But yeah, I just wanted to break my silence, guys. I've just been dealing with a lot of stuff and it's very, very hard to juggle this with everything else that's going on in life. But I am never going to give up. I promise you that. I will not give up. I love doing this. I love chatting with you guys. I love talking music with you. I understand that when I go silent for a very long time, people lose interest. They think I'm losing interest. And that's not the case at all. I just have so many distractions right now. I've got this overflow of ideas and thoughts and things that I want to discuss and topics that I want to talk about on this channel. And I'm gonna get back to it. And this is my way of getting back to it. I just have to take baby steps right now and get back in this thing. So I appreciate you guys watching. Oh, and I almost forgot. Do any of you guys feel like the 5-string bass is necessary? Please leave it in the comments below. Also, let me know how you're doing, especially some of you that I chat with from time to time. I would love to know how you're doing. I want you to know I'm thinking about you. I'm just trying to catch back up here. Please let me know your thoughts on 5-string basses. Do you think they're necessary? The community here would love to know. And I would also love to know if you guys like Sarah McLachlan, especially her old stuff. You know, her new stuff sounds pretty good. I got to give it up. It sounds really good. I think she's great. Definitely back in the early 90s, I was a fan. I really liked her music a lot. And I think she's necessary for sure.